That's a helicopter. No, is that a helicopter or is that an airplane?
It's a helicopter.
Oh, I see. Mateus thinks it's a special service elevator. Oh, look, I brought myself 2 writing pens today.
Congratulations. Does that mean something special's going on?
No, it means like I brought the 1 writing pen and forgot that I brought myself a writing pen. So now I have two in 2 different colors, and they're very
Oh,
nice.
I thought maybe you were going to like
It's the
color
kind
code what
of
we're talking about or
purpley one and
something.
the kind of blue one. I mean, it's a good blue one and a kind of purpley one.
So they kind of overlap a little bit, is what you're saying.
Whoa, Jake just popped a batch of banana bread.
Ooh.
Yeah. Audio is out of sync. It's been happening a lot with my computer lately. That's a weird thing. You know, the funny thing is that happens to me when I watch Let's Have a Booba by putting Let's Have a Booba up on the television, but with the sound, but then putting it up on my computer so that I can type into chat.
Oh, and then you get
Yeah.
the mismatch.
Yeah. Can you imagine like participating in chat for something like that while using your remote to like type in on the keyboard?
No. Especially since we more recently found out that we couldn't. I was just going to move these back to the.
Yeah, I was just taking a look. We've our one of our rubber bands broke again, so so you can see what we're working with here. I'm gonna have to re uh, jury rig that up. Um, yeah.
So what?
The good news is, oh, Mateus has some good news.
That's exciting.
Hey, Mateus remembered to vote. Didn't actually make a difference, but it made it a little bit closer. I do want to check
Yeah, how'd the vote go?
to make sure that main audio is still,
Is still this microphone?
yeah. Like, do we sound pretty good? Here, I'm bust open these system settings here. I can always put this over here and then nobody can see but me. Yeah, that's wrong. That should be a little bit better, yeah? I think everybody's going to be very excited about that. All right, so
Hooray!
I'll be back for Kopiko. You got things. Go for it.
You'll be back for Kopiko. Why are we having Kopiko so early? We've done nothing. David's trying to reward us for doing nothing. And off he goes. But hey, everyone. And that's, let's see. Sound is good. Yay. Why am I blurry? I don't, maybe I need to clean the lens off my camera, which doesn't seem like a good option to do while actually using said camera. Ooh, apple caramels. Nice. But anyhow, yeah, a solo Jesse who. Oh, I got unblurry. That's good. A solo Jesse who is not fully sure of what to do to spend this time because my brain is stretched between this and 2 other projects that I wanted to remember to take notes on, and so like my brain is doing a little tap dance, and then David left me, and so now I'm trying to tap dance my way into poll results while he's the one that's going to announce them. And David is dancing his way back into the room, and he's really lucky I'm not just picking up this webcam and turning it around. I don't think this makes for good live stream, me just laughing at you off camera. I think we need to. You tired now? You wore yourself out? They probably heard your feet tapping back there.
All right.
All right.
Let's get polsical, huh?
Ooh, wait. When David gets jury duty. Wait. Oh. I think they're saying this is going to happen. I'm going to have to go solo when you get jury duty.
Oh no. I I have a perfectly 100% legal trick for getting out of that. So my when my jury duty comes up this year, I imagine I will just be phoning in for 5 days, and that's that.
Then you won't have the pleasure of serving on a jury and getting to play your small role in the justice system.
I play my role by voting every election. Uh,
Any advice for writing a long paper? Goodness, Jake, my advice is to make sure you write out all the things you can focus on. I'm a big fan of the not a detailed outline. I've never been a big fan of that, just because if you're going to spend that much time outlining something, then why not just write it, you know? But I do like the bullet point outline to say, what am I going to talk about, like, in each area? Because then I can start outlining what examples to pull in. Because the more examples you can find, the longer the paper is going to get, because you have to introduce the example, give the example, discuss the example. So, like, you can get a good little set of, like, 3 examples and get a whole page out of that. And that's, you know, an exciting thing. Can you open my drink for me? You. Like, I tried. Don't shake it. It's carbonated. I hope you get sprayed with kombucha. I just said don't shake it, and David's like, oh, shake, shake. Thank you.
All right. Time to drooch your booch.
Thank you.
All right. Now then, this poll, I want to talk about this poll. I have something to say. We were talking about relative clauses last week. I think that's probably just the car guy saying that it's done.
Do you want to check? You should check, though. You should check. Our car is in the shop. Just routine maintenance check, but, like, it feels like when they call, you should probably answer the phone to make sure they're not saying, oh, we found something horribly wrong with your car.
Well, I won't be able to come until after 4, but I'll be there before you close.
Oh, but it sounds like everything's okay.
Right.
Oh, hello, Miles. Miles's car is also in the shop. We started getting the little.
Too many miles on those tires?
We started getting the little ding warning come up where it's like maintenance due. So yeah, we were just getting the regular maintenance, but
I pushed it pretty far.
his car is full of bees. No, that would be awful.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyways, we were talking about.
look at Dino Knit's comment.
Oh yeah.
And then the poll. Oh no, are you getting a prop? If you don't follow David on Tumblr, you missed a little something where David was addressed as Daniel, and so he then wrote an entire post as if he were Daniel J. Patterson, accountant extraordinaire. And
okay, you
and
know
now-
what we do every time around this? We talk accounting software, and we have a lot of fun, but sometimes it's good for a little break. And so I always reach for a Werther's original. And I'm still waiting for Werther's to provide some official sponsorship. They have not reached out or answered any of my many emails or phone calls. But nevertheless, I really believe in the Werther's candy. And you know my catchphrase, Werther's, it's worth, it's worth it to have a Werther's.
is this your version of Joe Pera?
My name is Daniel.
So is it Daniel?
I
Pera?
really apologize. I'm having some trouble with the wrapper.
Is it all stuck?
That'll happen on occasion. And you know, sometimes these can get a little sticky, so I recommend allowing it to sit, and then you grab either side of the wrapper, and then you can hold it up and enjoy a treat.
If you've never seen Joe Pera's show, like this isn't a direct imitation, but it is definitely inspired by Joe Pera.
Okay, so here's the thing. Number one, if I was doing Joe Pera, you'd know I was doing Joe Pera. That was Daniel J. Patterson. Number two, even though Daniel Patterson is from Arizona, Mesa, Arizona, that certainly was very Minnesotan. And you know what, of course, inspired that, which is that my last name is Peterson, and apparently Minnesota is the land of the Petersons.
Well, yeah, because that's
Several of the David Petersons
Scandinavian.
I've met in my life have been from Minnesota.
Is it Minnesota?
Minnesota! Man.
Oh, that was probably really loud. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Remember when the Cardinals faced the Minnesota Vikings in the playoffs? It was so exciting because they faced the Dallas Cowboys and beat them in the playoffs for like the first time in like 60 years or something. They advanced in the playoffs and they lost to the Vikings. Then the Vikings lost to the Falcons, I think it was, and then the Falcons lost to the Denver Broncos, if I'm remembering that right. Somebody can check my facts. It's football season again.
Oh, Jonathan said the high five was not too loud, and so that's good. I was a little worried we just popped some earbuds, and so yay.
Oh, speaking of buds. Hang on. I got a little surprise for everybody. I gotta share. Hold on. Sorry, I gotta black out the screen here. I should have thought of this.
And then can we get poll results?
Yeah.
I've been so excitedly waiting.
Mm-hmm. But this is definitely worthwhile. I really like Werther's Original, but I have too many of them. I'm actually trying to get rid of them because something I love even more is just straight butterscotch. I've been waiting to get through that entire unicorn head full of Werther's Originals just to fill it with butterscotch. I love butterscotch so much.
Well, better eat more Werther's then, because I don't feel like you normally reach into that little dish there.
I know, it's just too many. Okay. Jesse's going to get a little preview of this.
What?
Yeah. All right. So on yesterday's Let's Have a Booba, which streams every Wednesday.
Did this happen after I left?
Every Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. Pacific. Yeah.
Because like right after I left, David sent me the picture of the amazing turtle.
The turtle. Yeah.
The turtle. And I missed the turtle.
Anyway, so actually, speaking of buds, we saw the infamous Murder, She Wrote episode last night, Murder Among Friends, which has a parody Friends television show called Buds.
And it is now my favorite Murder, She Wrote episode. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Go on.
Anyway, yesterday's Let's Have a Booba. I'm sorry. It'll be done soon. Jake and Miles had a guest, Jonathan, on because they were doing the incredibly boring thing of designing orthography. The one thing that I know everybody hates. Looking directly at Jake there.
I'm a watcher without a commenter.
Yeah.
By the time I think of something interesting to say, the conversation has moved so far on that there's no time for commenting anymore.
Yeah. Anyway, Jonathan was designing a series of delightful images to serve as proto sources for glyphs. A number of them were really good. The turtles were just really darling. It's Jonathan says it's not the script making, it's the font making, because as we know over at Let's Have a Booba, what counts as good enough is what most of us would kind of go, oh. Anyway, Jonathan did this carrot that was just one of the greatest carrots I've ever seen, and it kind of looked like it was doing a strut, And so then Jonathan gave it a face, and then I went ahead and colored it in. It's small, so this is a little bit pixelated, but here is what I call Mr. Strut.
Oh my gosh.
But then when I saw it before Jonathan added the cute face, I was like, oh, it looks like an angry carrot. And so I went ahead and added that as well.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Anyway, and I tried to color it in. I'm not the best at that type of thing, but I just felt like it deserved to be there. Anyway, so yeah, I wanted everybody to see it. This
Oh my
is
god, wait. Does this Jake, are you saying that this carrot is now an emoji? Like,
incredible.
can I use the carrot emoji now?
Maybe, well, maybe you can because you're on Nitro.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm also on their Discord, so I can grab it.
I know, but that means like you can use it on our Discord. Too.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, one of the benefits of Nitro. Another thing that's not officially sponsoring us, but
No.
which should be, is Discord. Anyway.
Yeah. And I like supporting Discord because of what it's doing and offering groups everywhere. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was just wonderful. All right, back to the poll. So we were talking about relative clauses, and I immediately had what I thought was a very cool and very unique idea. And then Jesse went over a whole series of relative clause strategies, and I did not treat her very respectfully when she did that. And it was because I was really excited about my idea and wanted to share it and didn't get to right away. So in other words, it was like I was 5 years old. Anyway, so I want to apologize for that. I'm very sorry.
You were absolutely fine, babe.
No.
No.
And so, anyway, yeah, so a normal Tuesday. That's super accurate. That's an earned one. Anyway, when we actually wrote up the poll for relative clause strategies, first it took a while because I think we both just forgot.
It
Yeah.
was a really busy 96 hours after we streamed last Thursday.
were there,
It
so it's
was
with you.
legit like one thing after another to the point where I finally had room to breathe and like think about, what we were doing for the upcoming week. That was when I suddenly like turned to David and went, I forgot to get you the options for the poll because I thought it was going to be coordination of clauses. And he looked at me and went, what? And I was like, have we done a poll yet? So anyway, it was like, I think Sunday night when we realized we hadn't posted yet. It was very busy, 96 hours,
Yeah.
yes.
I think I think especially me, feel a little bit of pressure to be sure to get that poll up every single week. And then we were watching Let's Have a Booba yesterday. And I think it was Miles was like, I don't know, do we have any poll options? And Jake was like, I don't think it makes sense to do a poll this week. And they're like, yeah. And that was just it.
God, we should do that sometimes.
I know. I was like, wow, look at them and all the lack of stress. That's just really cool. Anyway.
96 hours in South California. The action never stops.
Ooh, South California.
Yeah. All right. But let's talk about the options that we finally came up with
Yeah, so
a few hours late.
we settled on two for a couple of reasons. Because of the, I think, 4 or 5 that we had, 2 of them were basically the same because it was just like one there a gap was allowed and the other one it wasn't. And then a couple we felt didn't make as much sense. So we came up with, I think, 2 really good strategies. The first was one of Jesse's, and I really ended up liking this. And I actually, it was funny because originally I'd gone with a totally different one because I was like, since this is SOV and we don't have actual like case marking, we have we have case postpositions.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I felt like it might be confusing if you just have noun, noun. But then, like, after having said that, the more I was going through it and thinking about it, the cooler option A sounded. So I was like, nah, no, because this is why we got rid of the gap strategy. Because it could potentially be confusing if you have noun, noun, and then just suddenly verb. It's like, what on earth are we doing? But if it was mandatory, if there was a mandatory relative clause pronoun, relative pronoun, that was in C2, in other words, that didn't move out of the relative clause, it could be really, really cool. And so it's like suddenly you get these two nouns in a row, but then you have the thing that essentially marks it as a relative clause occurring right inside the relative clause. It's like the coolest thing in the world. And so it's like, you know,
Overkill, baby, overkill.
I just thought it was so cool. So it's like, so this is the beavers chewing the grass with the frogs stacked, and it's like the beaver and the frog, that thing stacked, and it's like that's the relative clause part, and then it attaches to grass, which comes next. Choose. It's just like it's kind of like a garden path, except a really cool one. It's like it's forcing you to reevaluate what happens. It's like I think I understand what's going to happen, but this word comes and forces me to change everything that I know, and that's really cool. But it had to be mandatory.
Mm-hmm.
If you just allowed for the gap, things could get too confusing, and so we wanted it to be mandatory. Anyway, so that was option A. Option B was the nominalization strategy I discussed, which is that we take the verb, which always comes at the end of the relative clause, put it in the partitive, and put it before the noun that the clause modifies. And this is kind of like the dinosaur bone digging up trip thing that I discussed last time, where the character of the relative clause is very different from how we would conceive of it in English. It also means that shorter relative clauses would be favored. Not impossible, but would be favored so that things didn't get too jumbled and confusing. And indeed, even though you can put tense in the relative clause, since tense is done with an auxiliary verb, and an auxiliary verb can be put into the partitive. I think probably the most natural relative clause is one where you just do put the verb in the partitive and just kind of make sense of it and say, whatever tense makes sense, let's just throw that in. So that was the vote. And yeah, after writing it up and after thinking about it for a few days, I had a very clear and obvious favorite. And it was the one that Jesse came up with. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was brilliant. The votes happened. The votes were going a single way. I kind of reminded people a little bit too late to vote to see if we could get it a little closer. But ultimately, by a vote of 20-14, option B won out.
That's fine. That's good.
It was my option. I should be very excited, but I am crestfallen.
So actually, we had gone back and forth on whether or not even to poll for relative clauses because I thought the nominalization strategy fit with this language, and
I think so too.
And I knew David, at least last week, had been very excited about it, and so I was like, why even put it to a poll, because then something else could win. And so we weren't actually going to have a relative clause poll in the first place until Sunday, when David looked back at the document and said, oh, wait a second, we could do something else. So anyway, I'm totally fine with this result. I think it's going to be kind of neat because what David had mentioned, we had sort of talked about last week, was that because so much would be packaged in a different way, it would kind of result in, the speakers preferring to use relative clauses in a more limited capacity than we do in English.
Mm.
um, which is, I think, kind of cool because then that suddenly, like, as you're trying to translate ideas or sentences, you've got to think, like, is this too much information packaged into an embedded clause in the English version? And if so, the Beaver speakers would probably be more likely to
Mm.
reduce what's packaged in the relative clause and then string together multiple clauses to get the same idea across. Um, and I always think that's cool when you have to reevaluate something like that, because if it packages information in more similar ways, then you can just kind of translate what's there in the same structure. So anyway, I think it will offer us some neat little strategies here, and I felt like this language was kind of going towards a noun heavy
Mm.
situation anyway. So uh,
Oh, 20 to 19 would have been a heck of a result. Should have should have gotten buried about.
if you would have thought about it,
Yeah,
oh well.
with less than 2 minutes to go.
I think we've got a good option here.
Yeah. Ah, Matisse always knows how to stick the knife in and twist. All right. Oh, also wanted to mention that Graham updated our
Oh, the beaver,
sound
the
changes.
sounds.
Yeah, where were we looking at that?
What do you mean? Where were we looking at that?
Remember we were going over some options and discovering that they didn't quite work the way that we intended them to.
Was that in the document? I thought that was just in Lexergy, and you were typing them all out over and over again.
No, but I mean, I thought it happened in the stream, right?
Yeah, but
All right.
when you say where, you mean like we should have it on record? Um, I like I don't know where they were. I do remember it was something about two things coming side by side where we're like, that doesn't seem like that should work that way.
Yeah.
And then we had recently then also voted on another sound change that got added, right? Yeah.
So now we have these licit combinations, pat nga and pad ha, both come out as panga, and that's good. What does pangta come out as? Panna.
Wait, what?
What? Oh, that's not right.
Are you sure?
Pampa is coming out as papa, but pangta is coming out as panna. That doesn't make any sense.
Because it should.
I mean, the same thing should happen to both of them. Terrible post-nasal assimilation. Oh dear. Oh, something is very wrong.
Wait, which one did you type in? You typed in
Finally,
pangta?
the stops become nasal after heterorganic nasals. So P, B, T, D, L, A, G.
That don't match their places of articulation.
What a weird sound change.
We did that, David.
That was intended. That was intended. My goodness. Coda oral stop gemination. That's not right. Well, that's not. Oh, brother, it's still screwing up.
What's wrong?
Coda, well, look, coda oral stop gemination. It even says it right in the name there. Why would an M become a P if it's not a coda oral stop? Shoot. Probably written the code wrong. Stop nasal. Oh. Yeah.
Doesn't it need to say minus nasal, or does it? No, because nasal is
Needs to
coded
be
differently.
deleted.
Okay.
There we go. That's very silly.
Okay.
All right. Gonna save another one, send to Graham.
Ooh.
All right. All right.
And now you're ready to write something up about relative clauses?
Nobody talk to me. Yeah, let's do her.
It's going to be a fun live stream where no one can talk to David.
That's right.
I wonder if we can still talk to Daniel.
Oh, we need to do that. Oh, I can't remember Daniel anymore. Daniel's dead. It's true. He died in 2017.
That is true.
Yeah.
Were we speaking to his ghost then?
It was just a memory. Sky Harbor Airport claims another victim. Relative clauses. Relative clauses.
Indeed.
To form something like a relative clause in newly C, one nominalizes a verb in a clause, puts it into the partitive, and male, and sets it carefully before the noun the clause is intended to modify.
Ooh, it's always exciting when work meetings get canceled.
Yeah,
Unless you work at LangTime, then you always want the meetings.
that's true. All right.
Did you keep the example sentences that we had typed up so we could use them?
I mean, they're on the poll.
Oh, okay.
Oh. All right. Result is a nominalized clause with a kind of connection to a following noun. Much is often left implicit, though it can be made explicit, even if the result is a little unwieldy. Unwieldy or unwieldy?
Unwieldy.
Unwieldy. It's a little unwieldy or awkward. And awkward. Examples are showered upon you below.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine you could end up nesting things if you really wanted to. But again, the question is, would speakers prefer that, or would they prefer, just string pieces of information together if it's really that important?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, okay, so subject, the example we had used last week was really the direct object that we were looking at, because, it was the beaver chewed the grass that the frog stacked, I think, was.
Yeah. Sale bunga. Och das
Oh my
ing.
God, you remember it?
Yeah, and then is chewing, so that's sorry, funtuna. Um,
I am so impressed.
it's my only trick. Beaver is chewing the grass that the frog stacked. Now, the thing the subject never takes any ornamentation. No, it's just the object and secondary object type thing. Yeah, and
So, quick question. Appa is the actual verb, right? So, appo is its partitive form. Am I remembering that correctly?
yeah.
Okay, okay. Go on. Sorry.
No, that's treating broken like an adjective, Tethys. I think that what you're looking for is the the breakings stick. Um,
Here, I have one.
the breaking stick beaver ate. Beavers eating. Um,
Well, I was gonna say like you could say like the beaver, the I saw frog stacked grass. So it's like the frog that I saw that stacked the grass.
that confused me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the beaver of broken stick eating made tea is the best English way of doing it. But it could also be, but except broken is still wrong. That makes it sound like an adjective. It would be the breakings. Stick eatings beaver made tea. The breaking stick eatings beaver made tea. That would be the best way to do it. If you're trying to do it more accurately to the structure of the clause. Okay. So now let's do the subject one.
But if you want to keep the beaver is chewing grass as the outside one, it could be the beaver the frog hugged.
Oh, I just assumed he was going to stack the frogs.
Oh, okay, that works too.
The only thing I don't remember is if ing is supposed to do that, what it just did. And we don't need. Maybe we can just do that.
Isn't that stack the frog supposed to go in front of Saleh?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Very sorry. Oh. I'm just suddenly so tired. What was it that took it out of me? Was it the Lexergy sound change? Was that what destroyed me, or was it something else? But yeah, is that what it's supposed to be? It's supposed
It
to
was
be
the
Bungan?
Werthers. The Werthers destroyed you. I think so, because I think up above we have ing. Yes.
Hmm.
It doesn't have to, I don't think.
Well, let's
Because
try
it
that.
just says pronunciations like bungang are possible. It does not.
I like it better for these things being short, but
No, I do too. I was just trying to see if we actually had that in an example sentence or a structure. Um, but I think everything we have that's followed by ing so far ends in a consonant. So I think this is our first actual example with ing after.
yeah. And there was an open question. I mean, that I didn't raise, but was in my mind about whether to obey the traditional argument structure within this nominalization, or to just put everything in the partitive. But I was like, nah,
Here's
just do it like that.
here's an example of it after a vowel.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah,
Yeah, bungang. I like that. All right. Good. So these are done. That is how they are done. And now, oh gosh, I need to change the main pages document to get rid of these little tiny underlining thingies. We need to go back and figure out how we ended up um, doing the ditransitives, because it was a whole thing. We just need to make sure that we've got the right postposition for the case.
we had
Get rid of this. Get rid of this.
So with a ditransitive verb, the indirect object is the primary object, and that occurs with ing.
Okay.
A secondary object takes mo.
All right. So then let's do. We're going to change this from direct object to primary object and secondary object so that we can see both examples. But with the same verb. And that verb is give, right?
Yeah, we have give,
Okay.
which is be, be.
So then we have.
And it goes in order. It goes secondary, primary object, verb. So the like odasumo bungaing be.
Oh my. So the beaver who gave the frog a flower. Do we have a word for flower yet?
No.
Oh, who needs a word? What patron needs a word and likes flowers? Let's do it.
Who in your life likes flowers?
You're not a patron.
Fine.
If you were, wouldn't you have a LangTime Studio shirt?
Fair point. You can always go steal your mom's.
Yeah.
Um,
Jake likes flowers.
Miles
likes flowers.
Well, who's going to come up with a protoform first? Mateus
likes flowers.
Sounds like.
Let's I think maybe we should let
Make a
them
poll.
decide. Okay, so let's try to make some words. Because obviously we don't have palatals. How do you think?
Well, Jake says Vadu, which is obviously not their name, but could be something important to them.
Oh, okay.
And so,
Because
this
I
is
would,
your patron word. So if you don't want it to be your name, otherwise we're going to try to turn your name into Newly Suit and see what we get out of it.
because I was thinking, oh, Jake,
Oh,
Diaki.
it's a let's have a booba word. Vadu.
Diaki comes out as Deki. It's not really close to Jake. Um,
Jake, Dicky.
yeah, let's do Vadu. How about Miles? Mailaz. Milas would come out as Melaz. It's kind of a nice word.
Mm-hmm.
So we have Vadu, Melaz.
If Miles approves of that.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't want to include it in the vote if you're like,
Yeah,
never mind,
yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah. Yeah, Miles, tell us if you like that.
I think you need to figure out how to put Ronkovich in there. It'll fit. The longest word for flower. And you know what? Listen, for all the guff, that's right, I'm going to call this one out. For all the guff that David's like, oh, that's too long to be a basic word. Man, let me tell you, Finnish is blowing our freaking minds with like a really basic word like sun is 3 syllables, like the sun in the sky is 3 syllables. And then something like, I don't know, passport is only 2 syllables. And it's like, so then there's some really short words for things that it's like, that is going to get 1 syllable. And then some of them are, like basic words that are 4 or 5 syllables. And it's like, wow, that's intense.
And it never, like, I don't believe people in Finland actually say kännykkä for cell phone. I just don't believe it.
We have to find out. We need to go back and start asking everyone, have you seen my kännykkä? And see if they're like, huh?
Now let's see for Mateis. I mean, I don't know what you might enjoy. I've tried. I'm putting in mati in there. I'm gonna throw in this one because it actually would come out as. What do you think, Mateis? Because I think we've got 3 very solid candidates here for Jake, Miles, and Danielle.
Okay, do you put in Cecile?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, it's great. But
that's how Mateus. I think your name came out as Mati in a couple other languages too.
yeah,
Which, if you like that, then that's great. If you don't like it, then
Mati is better than Mateis. Okay, yeah. Let's go with these. Here, I'm gonna write up a poll. All of these are gonna be stressed on the final syllable. Because it's actually kind of hard to get it to not be stressed on the final syllable in this language. What shall be our word for flower? Put proto and modern. Well, proto and the romanization. The romanization will be the modern. I'm actually going to throw in some. All right. So these are Vadu, Melaz, Cecile, Mati, all of them stressed on the final syllable.
And then when Jake asked, that's illegal, isn't it? Jake, are you referring to your own comment about the Aymara with like 2 or 3 syllables, plus then they make everything longer, which is kind of fun. Or one of the forms. Are those illicit? Is there an illicit form? Oh, the previous one, Matthijs, was
Oh.
illegal because you can't have a diphthong and a coda.
Oh, it absolutely was. Gosh, I'm glad you liked. I'm glad you liked my tea better, Mateus. Otherwise, we would have been in a spot if that had won.
And thank you, Jake. Thank you for pointing that out and for clarifying when I asked the follow up question, so that way I knew what you were talking about.
Yeah,
Um,
I got a number of votes in. Don't know if Bibleridian wants to come in and vote. Um, I'm also gonna I'm also gonna twirl this thing around so that those peanuts aren't.
right by you. Don't twirl them so far that they're right by me. Rude. No, you know it's going to keep me though is I will not be the person who crunches on peanuts by the microphone. David would. I won't. I won't. It's bad enough that you have to endure my eating of the Copico.
Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and end that poll. And so Danielle, there we are. Did you say your mother?
I think it was,
Yeah.
yeah.
Let her know that Cecile is the new beaver word for flower.
Yay! And that's a good one, Cecile.
Yeah, and Dark Horse, we were looking for a generic word right now, but of course, if you just want to sit down and do flower vocabulary, I mean, any language is going to have dozens of words. Um, for me, I have to say, if you were to do a compound of beautiful grass, I don't think of a flower. I think of different types of grass because there are types of grass that are more attractive than others. Um, we don't often get very pretty grass on lawns here, but there are some grasses I've seen that are just lovely.
Kentucky bluegrass.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What?
Bluegrass? Like it's an actual. And it like is a very pretty shade. It's like really so when you see a whole lawn of it, it's kind of a darker color. Um,
I was thinking of something that where like the grass that I don't even know how to describe it, but
also this grass that I have a picture of grass from Yosemite that is an amazing color of green. It's so bright and vibrant. Prairie grass is good too, yeah.
Okay, help me out with so this is primary object. It should be the person that the grass was given to. So the beaver is chewing the grass that was given to the
Now you're making it all passive.
frog. Oh, right.
So like the beaver is chewing the grass that the frog gave to the beaver. Or something like that.
The frog. Can we have a third participant here?
When you say primary and secondary object, is the relative clause supposed to be modifying the primary or secondary object, or is the thing that plays a role in the relative clause supposed to be the primary and secondary object?
I don't know. Which one is more difficult? Like, which one's more different?
I guess the latter, because the previous, it should just theoretically be it shows up before the noun being modified wherever it is.
And so like these are all the same. They just have some sort of postposition.
Okay, so we need
Horsetail.
all right.
I want to look at this horsetail grass because there's a particular type of grass that I really, really love. Oh, that's why it's called horsetail. Look at that. My. Oh, okay, I know this. Boy, that is stunning. Oh, well done, Dark Horse. Wow. Lovely.
Okay, this one will be secondary. Let me forget the flower too. The frog. All right, this is for this one. Okay. I think we have to hold, right?
Charles is saying the beaver is bringing the frog that stacked the grass a flower. That, yeah, this is just that would just swap out the postposition.
If we, I wanted to find, do we have another animal besides frog and beaver?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of. And I think we did create one, and I don't
I
remember
thought
what
so
it is.
too.
Let's
Because then it would make more sense than being like the beaver's holding the flower that the beaver gave to the frog.
okay, it wasn't the opossum. Mouse. Here we go. Kiss kiss.
Mouse.
Or kiss kiss.
Okay. And then
It's a cute little word for mouse. Oh, jeez, the banana bread is done. Jake, mail it to us. There is a particular grass that I've seen that it like grows in clumps and it's soft as velvet. Um, some of the most gorgeous looking grass I've ever seen. I have no idea what it's called. There were only a few houses around my neighborhood when I was young that had it, and these were clearly people that cared about landscaping and got this grass specially. Definitely not native to the area. This has been a later thing if you've been to Southern California, that they've been trying to use more native plants, more deserty things.
all right, back to chewing.
It's actually some really nice ones on my high school across the street.
Didn't want the beaver to be chewing the flower that was obviously a gift for someone else, but here we have it.
By the way, I went to Pacifica High School and graduated from there in 1999. Let it be known. In Garden Grove, not the one that's up the coast.
And then Cecile and Thu Na. Okay, so there's the beavers chewing the grass. And then you said Keese Keese is mouse?
Yes. I need to see that cut, Jake. Like, cut a little slice of it and then put some sort of garnish on it. Maybe like a scoop of ice cream. Oh, that looks so good. We don't actually yet, Dark Horse. It's a nice idea to wear. Look at this. Jesse's just like taking over.
What is the partitive of bay?
B?
B?
Yeah.
Okay. Check my work. And then if it's right, I'll fix this.
The beaver is chewing the flower that the mouse gave to that the mouse gave to the frog.
The mouse gave the flowers to the frog, babe.
Thought there was some sort of applicative thing going on. The flower that the mouse gave to. Woo! Snap.
Okay, so the beaver is chewing grass. Keese Keese.
Yeah.
The mouse gave to the frog. Yes, because that is... Yes, okay. Keese Keese.
Yeah,
and
and
the
Cecile
flower
is the secondary object.
Cecile Mo. And
Yeah.
B.
And then I am fairly certain that should be Cecilou.
Because Mo requires...
Yeah, it's one of the prepositions that requires
Yes. Is that it?
wonderful. Perfect.
Okay.
Resplendent.
Now just bear with me a
Well
second.
done. I know, it's a long sentence.
Whoops, not 3. There we
Oh
go.
my God. Are you really? Are you really? Oh my God. Look at that. Look at that indent. Oh, yes. Why are you so good at everything?
Are
Thank
you?
you. Oh, oh my God, I love it.
You need to go through and fix everywhere where you just used manual tabs.
Oh, I hate it. Those manual tabs, and they always screw me up, and I do it anyway.
I
Ruined
know.
all my older languages. I think it's time to celebrate.
Hee-hee!
And this time, to go with our Kopiko, we're having a slice of fresh banana bread, which Jake baked for us. Go ahead and deliver us the banana bread, Jake.
The banana bread that's too hot to cut at the moment.
Just pass it around, then cut it. I think they can do that in Britain. Anybody get
Yeah.
that reference? Cheers.
Cheers. Oh no. I can't-
Kopiko, the one Tropico that LTS cannot do without. Mm.
There we go. I was struggling to get mine open. Okay. We've got it done.
Hold on a sec. I just gotta.
What's happening?
Oh, nothing. I am sending. I am sending Jake a private message that is too saucy to share on screen.
Ooh, banana bread with blueberries. That sounds good, Danielle.
Wow, banana bread with blueberries. Oh, hey, look, Arnak Petrichor has changed their icon. It's kind of evocative.
Okay.
Did you read it, Jake? That wasn't your joke. Ah, there we go. Now Jake gets it.
Okay.
There we go. So yeah, that is the first thing to jump down to my eyes when I saw you type that. Mm. Oh my God, Dark Horse! Now I get what you're saying. Dark Horse is saying, should we add the word rude after the sentence? And said, the beaver is eating the flower gift. Rude. It was the indentation, Mateus. Proper formatting just thrills me to no end. And now you can probably understand why Jesse is irresistible to me. Oh yeah, like, hey, I appreciate what you're doing here, Jesse, but it's probably not necessary because, I mean, we've seen both what happens when the target of relativization is modified by a postposition, and we've also seen a couple different postpositions in the relative clause, so another one is just more of the same.
But I do have a question. Okay, first of all, I need the.
Oh, okay. Don't forget your question, but I have a question for Vera and for our Knight Petrichor here. They say that it's a glyph. Their new icon is a glyph for soul strength crystal in their ritual script. Is there more information about that? Because I would love to see more about that. Barry Garcia is also working on a conlang for ritual right now with a unique script. It's really cool. I love the idea. Ah, yeah. What channel? Um, well, I'll find it eventually. Anyway.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In typing this example up, I know you said it's unnecessary, but I have a few questions.
Mm-hmm.
Including, is te the partitive form of ta? Taa is the verb
I mean, I think
for
so.
to put. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now,
Well,
this is a relative clause that is, so the beaver is carrying the rock that the frog put the grass on.
uh-huh.
On disappears here. Is that intended? So here we just have frog, grass put. There's no on. Same thing happens, I realized, with secondary object where the mo gets deleted, or where, you know, one art, it's like the two gets deleted. So it's like things get deleted, but is that correct that we would just completely ignore it because kasbasa is on the rock? And here kasba and then ing because it's carrying the rock.
This is okay. So this was this is good because so we're gonna remember saw. Also, is this gonna work? Does this work?
Oh yeah, I can do that. I was
Sorry.
well, yeah, it works if you delete out the manuals.
Got it. Yeah. The answer is yes, but and this was a good example because this should be an example where you can optionally reintroduce it and it would be less awkward to do so.
Okay.
So we need an on it. So sa doesn't assign the partitive, is that correct?
I'm gonna double check, but I'm pretty sure it does not. Oops, I went too far. It does not say anything in its dictionary entry. Does that mean it?
Oh, that's no good.
Like it doesn't say anything about assigning.
Oh, How disgusting.
Neither does the.
Neither does what?
Sorry, I'm just looking at postpositions. So mo specifically says in the entry it assigns the partitive.
Yeah, so if it doesn't say anything, it assigns the nominative.
Yeah, so that's what it looks like. Most everything assigns the nominative. If that's incorrect, the only one that assigns the partitive is mo.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
that's because it came from a noun. Everything else
Yes.
came from a verb.
Everything else came from a verb. All right. And so I'm gonna delete this and put here that. Wonderful. Perfect. Thank you. And now, how do we do possession in this language?
That's a wonderful question.
I was also gonna try to write up real quick our translations for the other project that we're working on, the professional project, and I had the same question. How do we do possession in that language? Because it's like we kind of need it.
I don't know that.
And I
Surely
don't
we talked
remember.
about it.
I don't remember.
Here, but we have a section in this document on possession, David.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay.
We've got inalienable possession. We've got the inflector. We've got the possessor and the partitive. Alienable. Is really not mentioned.
Oh.
One utilizes a postposition. So I guess we were intending on having a possessive postposition for alienable.
Where did we write that?
Up here in the discussion. There's a two-way distinction. One utilizing inflection, that's inalienable.
Okay.
One utilizing a postposition, that must be alienable.
Embarrassing. We should probably.
Oh, this is it down here, though.
What?
The children are alienable.
No.
No?
No, that's an article.
Gotcha. Never mind.
Yeah. Here we go. Alienable possession is achieved via the postposition we'll fix that. We should probably do this first. Also, here are some more words that we need, because these were for examples of when to use inalienable. We, I guess, just didn't have these words: branch, tree, essential characteristics, writer's book, Beaver stem. Do we have a word? How many of these words do we have? We have a word for oak tree. Let's just do that. Word for oak tree is all. The branch. So that would be alu. And then branch. Okay. I like having a native word for branch for this language. Do any of the people whose names weren't picked for flower have a particular affinity for branch? If not, anybody else?
Did you make an entry for Cecile?
No, I didn't.
While we're waiting for that, do you want to go ahead and do an entry for Cecile? do that. Ooh, Mate says Mati is a good word for branch.
Let's do it.
Mati. And we will make that.
This is Sunny Seal. Flower.
And then I'm gonna. All right, sometimes we use this as a search. I am going to.
It's funny. Mott is tall.
Okay. I added a little something.
Yeah.
This is how I track in Joadi. You got tell me what you think. I got it on the screen here. That's how I track name sources. And then that way we can figure out which of our patrons in the dictionary without having to go to a separate list have words entered in this language. You just look up the at symbols. Or I could put at Danielle because Danielle was the name. And so,
Yeah. No.
and then Cecile was the.
No.
Which way do you like better?
You were almost there. Hold on.
Okay.
So this should be assuming that we have that spelled right. That's one L.
Let me double check. Or Danielle, if you're still hanging out here. Is it 1L or 2? Okay, that's where we voted on flower. It's 1L. It's 1L.
Okay. So
there we go. Because that way we can search for the at symbol and a patron to be like, do you have a word in the language?
Yeah.
And it'll be right there in the dictionary and it'll keep things together.
By the way, this was so this is Mateus's word. This one I think we just did in honor of Mateus. It's very similar.
Oh, tall?
Yeah. But that's fine. They're two completely legit roots. We don't need to do anything with them.
And Mati
then,
was tall? Or branch, I mean.
Yeah, so this is... there we go.
Yes, I do want to make it clear to any patrons out there, it does not count against you if we coin a term based on your name without your like knowledge and or prior like, yeah, this is what I want my name or my contribution to be. And so anytime that happens where we're just like, oh, that reminds me of Jake, we're going to make this word be Jake in this language. And, you know, if we decide that, Jake still gets 2, you know, for the language. So just saying.
All right.
And this, wait, this actually had a thing like that, didn't it? Like the little comes from?
Yes, thank you.
And does it need to be italicized? I guess it doesn't matter. It looks the same either way.
Yeah. We're gonna miss your Twitch. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. All right, so now let's go back to possession. Oh, right. The oak tree's branch. So we got that. These other ones, I guess we can wait on that because I want us to actually tackle this. Um, I think Jesse's made a good point that we appear to only have one postposition that assigns the partitive. It'd be nice to have another. Can we make this possessive one assign the partitive somehow?
I was actually just thinking of one that would require a partitive because
Yeah.
it would come from a noun. Um, because paw, if you recall, was the other one, which is why it was the paulative.
Hmm.
Um, what if the possession one comes from fur because some of the earliest possessions were like coats and things you'd wear just like your fur. And so it was the fur of the somebody like, and so then it sort of became extended to be like, oh, that's a possession that you have on hand or that you have very close to you, but like, you know,
Yeah.
or back because it could be on your back.
No, 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 no. Fur makes a lot more sense. Um,
We do not have a word for fur.
which one would it be applying to?
Alienable.
No.
Sorry. Oh, like which, the possessor or the possessee?
Yeah, hold on. So something that is alienable. Beaver's hammer. Do we have a word for hammer?
I'm gonna say no. No, that's the only one in this.
Maybe something with like a root like mott. Anybody have a good association with hammer that they would like? I think this one's going to double as a verb. Um, it can mean hammer and to hammer.
As we're thinking about this, by the way, it could be the beaver's branch because you could definitely see like this beaver is carrying around a branch, going to be using it as they build their dam. And so, like, right now it's the beaver's branch, but it's alienable. But yeah, hammer. Yes. Clearly, Miles is hammer. Now, Miles.
It's so big, especially for something that's also going to be a verb.
Hey, remember how we said you can't do that all the time?
I know, but for something like this, and with what industrious little builders they are.
In other words, sorry, Miles, your name is too long. So even if you love the thought of hammer, it's going to be banned.
Yeah.
And so we need people with short names or short naming ideas.
Mm-hmm.
I know, right, Jonathan?
It's 2 heavy syllables. I don't like it. Mm-mm.
Not one bit. Could be beaky.
Is there a patron out there for whom a word must be coined that enjoys the idea of being associated with hammer, a hammer or hammering, that would dearly love a CBC or CBV root? Or VC?
What about CV?
No, that's too small. Sorry.
David's got these notions, but I'm just going to let him do him. And I'm going to say I'm excited to find out what our word for hammer is.
Oh, we also have to do our David and Jesse words. Did we remember to do that last season?
I'm going to say probably not. I don't know. But I was just going to say, Jess could be hammer. I like hammers. And, like when I lived in Germany, das ist der Hammer meant that's really cool.
Really?
Yeah.
All because of MC Hammer?
Oh, no. I don't know.
Hold on, Tabby's got something.
Well, Tabby, is that like
Or is that just a way of doing Miles?
Miles short? Which Miles has never commented yet. So, oh wait, Miles does say I am industrious, but I was making dinner. What's my name now? The question is, do you want your name to be Hammer? And if so, are you okay with being Meal? Because your name is too long for David's liking of a root for Hammer.
ist echt der Hammer, dass du das gemerkt hast.
See, so is the Hammer still like cool? Like, is that still a thing? Because that's been quite a few years since I lived there, and by quite a few years, I mean over 2 decades ago. And I would imagine things could shift.
Matei says
Super
people
geil.
still say it.
People still say it, yes, and just hammer. So I just want to say, like, you know, Jonathan, that looks beautiful. Oh, is Miles? Oh, do we have a W though? It could be Wong.
I don't think we do.
I thought this was where we had woos.
No, no, no.
No, it shows up because of other things. Never mind. Oh, I was thinking of something else where we had woos.
Hmm.
Or if you like a V in place of that, because I'm sure at some point Vronkovich was totally illicit pronunciation of your name. Could be Vung.
I really appreciate Matei's comment here. Like, we could just go full onomatopoeic. Can you imagine? Pak. Pak, pak, pak.
Not cop, cop, cop. No, it definitely
No.
is Pak.
Yeah.
Oof, ooh, that was a definite feeling there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, we could just do onomatopoeia.
You like pak or pook?
Just depends on how close you are to the hammer. From a distance, would you hear the hammer as buck, buck, or would you hear it as book, book? No,
I think it's pak.
pak, because pook, the ooh reminds me of like something smaller, like a nail being
Yeah.
like ting, versus an actual hammer.
Also, how much have we used reduplication yet? Because a pak pak could be a hammer too. Gagath is error. That's partial reduplication. Inging is to sniff. Geese geese is mouse.
I just want to point out that too heavy of a root is now a short root being reduplicated to a longer
I've been
thing.
using reduplication a lot for
I was just pointing it
verbs.
out. That's all. That's all. All right. So hammer.
This is pak, definitely pak to hammer.
So hammer is pak, and
Yeah.
then two hammer is pak. Hammer will be pak,
Oh.
pak, papa, paka.
Oh, that stress is wrong.
What will hammer be?
Pak pak.
With the geminate?
Yeah. We also need to. Can we figure out how stress is assigned in Lexergy and change it? Because yeah, absolutely. If it ends in a consonant, it should always be stressed on the final syllable.
I struggle with the stress assignment rules in general.
Hammer, and I also wrote mallet there just in case. Just in case. Never know. All right, now. You're so good looking.
As I sneeze. Thank you. Thank you for the blessings. And the wishes of health. Whew.
Todo.
All right, so now
All right. Beaver's hammer. Beaver.
Jesse Blessing.
Of the beaver. Of the beaver. Fur. Now it's the question is what is the relationship between fur and hammer? It's like of the beaver, the fur indicating that it's possession.
Hmm.
But then there's like nothing to relate it to hammer.
Effectively, it would be viewing the fur as a nominal descriptor of hammer.
But a nominal descriptor should come after it, not before it. And Dark Horse, yours has the same problem. That it doesn't say what the relationship is between shadow and hammer.
Okay, so
Eek. Eek. Trying to do Jake with unreleased stops. Eek. Oh, because because it ends in a fricative. So J. No. Again, Dark Horse. That's not the issue. We're not looking for. It's just other words to give us the postposition. We're looking for how do you relate the entire postpositional phrase to the other noun.
okay, so if, and I just want to make sure I'm thinking this quite correctly. If I want to say something is like, wow, it's being underlined. All right, and hammer is the head noun. So I'm trying to get rid of this weird underline.
You got it.
There we go. So hammer is the head noun.
Mm-hmm.
And so the order of this in Beaverton would be hammer, fur, partitive, right? Like the fur would be partitive, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Why does of the beaver and the partitive come before, like up here, why is it of the beaver and partitive before teeth?
Oh, wait, it's not fur in the partitive, is it? It's hammer that's in the partitive.
Because fur, I thought the head noun was not in partitive. Oh, the head noun is in partitive.
Yeah.
Okay. So hammer takes partitive.
Yeah, so we got, and the logic here is Saleh is beaver. Salimat is like of the beaver, or of the beavers, because there's no number designation, the tall one. So Salih mat.
Gotcha. Okay. How does saluthaki work semantically then? Of the beavers, the teeth? Of the beaver, the teeth. So from of the beaver, the teeth.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it's a different association with the partitive. It's not like of all the beavers, the teeth. It's like from the beaver, we're focusing on the teeth.
So could this be could this be an option where it's effectively hammer is the head noun, but it needs to be in the partitive because it's like being described by something. But this is going to be a postposition, so it's going to lose its nouny status, but it's going to assign the partitive still. So hammer is in the partitive because it's being assigned the partitive because of fur. And then effectively beaver is also in the partitive. Can we have a postposition double assigning partitive?
Well, let's pause here and think about this, even if it made sense. Part of what is nice about the way that these the other possession works is that the head noun is on the right.
Mm-hmm.
And here the head noun would be on the left.
Yes. So like if I were looking at patterns we have so far without trying to semantic it out, I would want beaver, partitive, fur, hammer. Like, and then hammer would be whatever form it needs to be for the rest of the sentence structure, which is kind of what you need because like
Yeah.
you don't want to change the head noun to a particular case if
Yeah.
ing needs to follow it.
Right. It's
like
gotta.
it would no longer make sense.
Okay, now we know what we've got to do. So that's good.
Mm-hmm.
So now let's think about how to do that. So with the logic that we start with, like, of the beaver, the tall one, of the beaver, its teeth. Now we need something like that. But something more that tells us that this is not just some sort of natural protrusion from the beaver. In other words, the beaver doesn't have like a hammer for a hand. And also that the beaver didn't make this hammer necessarily. Or at all. Like this could be somebody else's hammer, but the beaver's just temporarily associated with it.
Okay, just stick with me for a second. The postposition could have come from the partitive form of fur and then reduced from there. Because effectively what you get then is like of the beaver, of its fur, the hammer. Where at this point it's like they're using fur as a stand-in for like, again, if you think like the earliest possession was like a coat or a scarf or something that they put around themselves to wear, to shield, to keep warm, whatever. And so it's like comparing it to being like a fur-like thing.
All right. So then for this one, the comparison is you're co-opting the partitive to make a comparison between a hammer and between a possession and the fur.
Yeah.
So here I'm going to give another suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
Same structure.
Mm.
And now the association is out of the basket, something that was inside the basket. And the basket is being treated as a metaphor
Yeah.
for all of its possessions that are clearly
Carry all.
not,
Yeah, yeah,
you know.
yeah, yeah. No, I like that a lot. Would Because basically what we would do is have the complete form and then reduce it.
Uh,
Um,
and then, yes, it would need to be reduced. I have one more.
well, I was just gonna say, should we have like out of? I don't think we want to use paw because that is the mo source, and I feel like it would end up coming out somewhat closely.
Well, we would essentially need another preposition. It would be a compound preposition with mo, which comes from have.
Right.
Um, and so it would be just a little different. Um, its little store place could also work, but I was thinking of something more mobile so that it was more versatile. Um, Whereas something it's in the store in your dam is it could only be in that place. You can't just carry it around with you. That was why I thought of basket.
We've got locative saw, um, and allative the.
So sitting in its basket. Let's try to come up with some of these and see what it would be. In fact, let's do this. We basket is kind of a variable. All right, what is the word for fur, or is that also a variable?
Variable. Um, but we
Okay.
know the partitive source. We know the in, and like we have a locative, an allative, and an ablative, depending on like which one you would want. We do have the word for paw. Paw is the only one that we have.
All right. Let's take a quick jaunt over to partitives. So saw it would not be associated with a partitive. It could reduce to just an s suffix if we needed to. Um, but for partitives, we get oo, o, or e, and that's it.
And so far we have um,
L would show up too for certain things.
our post positions are ing, mo, sa. How is the e umlaut? Fa, fur. Um, the, of course, u. So we don't have anything that ends in e. Hmm.
If we the nice thing about a partitive to try to make this shorter is we can ignore anything that ends in a consonant and we can create a word that ends in two vowels. And so we can have something that ends in O, U, or E.
What
So like, it's all going to start with that.
what would dua come out as? DUA and then in the partitive. Well, I guess DUA in general, and then
and then that one comes out as do, I thought, with an O. No, it comes out as U.
okay.
Ooh, so we don't have a word for fur or basket, so both of these could be the same. Let's something like that. Whereas this would be something like
We could have like Koi, and that would be something like Q, right? As I'm staring at the thing of Kopiko. Koi.
this. Oh, what did our word for hammer end up being? I forgot.
Hammer was puck, papak. P-A-P-P-A-K.
Can you think of something that ends in a vowel, or begins with a vowel? That would be inalienably possessed.
Well, grass is odas.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have a whole lot of. Most of the nouns are, start with a consonant, so.
Well, yeah, for now.
Well, sure, but that was, just, I was trying to give you other potentials. But I think that.
Dam is obviously a very big word for beavers. I don't think we've come up with it yet. I think we're doing water stop, so whatever our word for water is, and then ak. We haven't done that yet.
The banana bread has been cut. I repeat, the banana bread has been cut.
Finally.
And I hope it's delicious.
I hope so too. But, we won't know till we taste it, will we?
I really like basket to be the word.
Okay.
Whatever we end up coming up with in terms of or in. It's kind of cool to have that top one where you could get dupapak versus duodas, but also, how would you say it? Is that disa? What is I with umar? Disa.
Right?
Salut.
No, that's wrong. It should be that disa. But of course, this is just working with the protoform DUA. We can have anything. Okay, let's think about this two ways. One is semantically, and the other one is morphologically. We're going to ignore the phonetics of this because they can change.
I do want to champion Dua though for Dua Lipa, the basket of good music coming out of Albania. No? Metaphor? No?
It's a meta. I know a metaphor. It's an idea wearing another idea's hat.
Anywho, It should be Gaga. But David likes Dua Lipa.
Yeah, I do. Um,
It also reminds me of the time
Incredible musician, incredible songwriting,
that
incredible
David
singing.
used Dua Lipa in a game that he had created, and you had to treat it as a command,
Yeah.
and it was you needed to do a leap to move to the next level.
Yeah.
And I got it. I was so excited.
Yeah. That's
Anyhow,
good.
anyhow.
Uh, so
So I kind of like actually doing either in its basket, so locative. Um, I kind of like the idea of using something like that because it would give us a different sound, I think, than anything else, including the
mm,
word for basket being used as partitive in other situations. Um, it's kind of nice that do is so short, so that is in favor of partitive, just because it's, so you do papa.
we can reduce this um, if certain conditions are met. Basically, if it's a long vowel, ah, e, or oo, or if it's CVC and the last one is S or Z,
Mm.
I could see it just, say it was, dasa. Because the sa isn't going to get stressed because it's a postposition, so
Mm.
dasa. And if it could just become dasa, das, you know,
Mm.
sale das, sale das papak, sale das papak, papak, sale das papak, sale das papak. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we can get this shorter so that it ends in S. Um,
As all good genitives should.
mm-hmm. So what do you think?
I mean, I think it's cute.
Yeah?
I like it.
All
And I
right.
really like the basket idea.
All right. Now, for the form, do you like the idea of shortening it up so that it ends in S?
I think so.
All right.
Just because, like, with postpositions, you're just it, you, you're always going to shorten it and kind of reduce the vowels that are harder to say.
Okay. Here we go. What are some forms? Obviously, we have, das could be one.
Are you taking Dua out of the running?
Um, yes.
It could be da.
If
It could be dao because then it would be do.
no, because we don't allow the vowels a, o, or with a consonant following them. That's why I said it had to be these long vowels. Otherwise, we couldn't, because like dos is an impermissible syllable in this language.
So we couldn't shorten it. Gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah, we would have to shorten it to either a, e, or u.
Mm. But something like dasa would.
Yeah.
Well, effectively, because the in sa is being added, so no matter what, this is going to end in an s or a z, right? So the question is, do we like das, dies, or dus better? Right? Isn't that effectively what we're asking? Or
Yeah,
with the Z?
as a word for basket, it's going to end up as S no matter what. And it doesn't have to start with D. It can start with anything.
Yeah, now that Dua is out, I don't care anymore. So whatever you want.
Did you really want do over basket?
I just thought it was a cute word.
Well, we can
Um,
add it as another word.
well, yeah, but like I just like what are people feeling? We got 3 minutes.
Well, 4. We started a minute late. Thank you for that heart. Somebody gave you a little heart of encouragement.
We've got. I mean, like which ma. No, that's too close to mo. Um,
What other postpositions do we have? We have sa,
we
mo. We want to
we
stay
have
away
one
from
that starts
ing.
with an F. We have one that starts with a the. We have a the, and we have an oo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so we could get like a B or a P. Um, N could all start these. D, T, an
Yes.
L, if we like an L.
I'm gonna say some things to you. So we have, salidas papak, salidus papak, salibis papak, salilus papak. Let's see, salinas papak.
All right, I like loose and nas the best out of those.
Of course, Jake coming in with the voiceless smoother nasal. We could do a voiceless one. It would just voice. Salinus papak, salinus papak.
That is bordering too close on our which often loses its I for me.
Tethys likes loose.
Okay. Dark Horse likes loose too.
All right.
Okay.
Loose.
And that's really quite different from anything we have so far.
Yeah. Nobody said anything about the postposition.
God, David. I do like it though. Those good old postpositions.
All right, so that's what it's going to be for the postposition. For basket itself, do you like loose, or lose?
I don't like lose.
Okay.
Because if it's in your basket, you're not going to lose it. Good Lord. I like loo, long oo.
Okay.
That's not a word yet, right?
No, it's not.
Okay, so that's what it is. It'll be loo.
All right, good.
All right, so now.
Okay, so now we can go back up to the possessive area, non-possession. Do. The postposition loose follows the possessor, and the entire postpositional phrase precedes the possessee. An example is shown below. Sally? That is all other possession save what is mentioned above. Okay. Salut, Luis.
Those teeth that they have gone out and collected.
What was the thing that they were possessing? Like, what was the thing that we were using the whole time?
Could be a flower. Papak.
Babak, babak.
Oh man, we're doing great, baby. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now now we can actually go back to the relative clauses and fill that out.
Yes, we can.
The beaver whose grass the mouse ate is sleeping. I don't know. We should try to keep with the beaver is chewing the grass whose mother is happy.
Well, then we gotta do alienable and inalienable, right?
Um, yeah. Oh, we can't do this right now, especially since we gotta go pick up the car. Ugh. All right. Well, gonna.
You know what? I'm gonna think on that. I'm gonna figure something out that we can do, and we'll figure that out.
I'm gonna write here alienable plus inalienable.
And then I will call your attention, David.
Miles is making polenta.
My God, you act like you haven't had it in so long.
Miles, you're only in Arizona. Why don't you drive it over here?
Arizona,
Yeah.
Ohio.
It just doesn't seem likely.
Okay.
I think I've seen Miles. It doesn't make
If
any
you
sense.
scroll up a tiny bit, I do just want to point out that I have put these options here in the document. Are you scrolling up in the wrong thing?
Oh.
Keep going until you see purple.
Yeah.
There are options here. We may actually do the causal coordination poll
Yeah.
this week, the one that we have talked about for 4 weeks now. We may actually do it. There are options. And so David and I can actually talk about that. We'll figure out this example for the possessive, and
Yeah.
hooray, we've done a lot. This is
Yeah.
exciting. We hope you all enjoy the rest of August. If you're a patron this Saturday, we have our patron live stream at 1 o'clock Pacific.
Be there.
And sometime this weekend, you'll also get a podcast episode, which David and I are hard at work on and will record shortly.
We've done 5 takes so far, and we think that this next one is going to be the one that we keep.
So thank you all for being here, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Bye. I was going to ask